Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to a very important one-off news show, which is, of course, coming in the aftermath of the big news coming out today from the Premier League and EFL that they are going to suspend football activity until at least the 3rd of April as a result of the increasingly devastating impact that the coronavirus is having on the football community. In case you missed it, the Premier League was set to continue its fixtures as normal as of around 10 PM last night. However, things have since taken a devastating turn as Arsenal manager and, of course, former Everton icon Mikel Arteta was diagnosed as having contracted the virus. In addition to that, you've got Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi who's got it. 3 of the Leicester City squad could turn out to have it. And, of course, most significantly this morning, Everton decided that all of our squad and staff should self-isolate after one of our players has shown symptoms of the illness. And that's before we even get on to affairs outside of England, with much of the Juventus and Sampdoria squads beginning to come down with the illness as well. It's a serious epidemic that appears to be set to intensify in the coming weeks, so it's very much the right decision, I think, to take this action. Of course, it's massive news for all of us Blues and football fans in general across the country, and of course, it's going to have some significant ramifications for the season and most likely beyond as well. In this show, I'm going to run through what we can expect to happen in the coming weeks, the impacts it's going to have, and the different steps we can take moving forward from a footballing perspective. Obviously, we've got to start with the immediate impact, which is the Merseyside derby that was scheduled for Monday night. That will be postponed until after the suspension period. Now, this is definitely in our best interests, given, like I say before, the club announced today that one of our first team squad members has shown symptoms of coronavirus, and the club has sent all the players and staff to self-isolate. Goodison Park, Finch Farm, and the club offices in the Liver building have been shut down today, and of course, shortly afterwards, the Premier League decided to postpone all the fixtures, including that one. From a football standpoint, the situation does, for now at least, write off the possibility of Liverpool winning the title on the hallowed turf of Goodison, something which I think we can all agree is pretty relieving. However, the most important thing is stopping the spread of the virus. Many fans may be gutted about not getting to go the derby at Goodison, but it's in the best interest of our city to avoid these scenarios where fans of whatever team can spread the virus to one another. It took longer than it should, but at least the Premier League have finally come to the right decision for the sake of managers, players and supporters alike. Putting Everton to one side for a moment, there's plenty more impacts which need to be considered later down the line. The obvious one on many lips in our fan base is, will the season be scrapped? And if so, will Liverpool be denied the Premier League title? As far as I'm concerned, the answer will be a resounding no. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but it would be wrong to deny them the title. You can't just completely disregard 3/4 of a season, and you would be setting a very dangerous precedent. Equally, their title success would probably be undermined anyway by getting it by default. But the fact of the matter is, really, they're out in front for a reason. They are the best team, and it'd be wrong morally, I think, to deny them the title given the way the league's gone. And it's just, like I say, I think it's just opening a really difficult can of worms. The same can be said for the teams at the top of all the lower leagues and the leagues on the continent as well, should the situation worsen to a point where they want to scrap league seasons. Rest assured, though, the Premier League will do everything in their power to keep the show on the road when the situations come back up for review on the 3rd of April. And only then, really, will we know what kind of scenario awaits us as far as finishing the season is concerned. But for anyone thinking the title will be declared null and void and planning a bit of a party, maybe, I'm afraid it's highly likely you're going to end up disappointed. As I mentioned, scratching off the Premier League title would set a dangerous precedent, and with that we'd have to take the title off the likes of Leeds, Coventry and Crewe lower down the leagues as well. And that's before we even get onto the issue of promotions and relegations. Of course, the situation would be a devastating one for Liverpool, should they be stripped of a first title in 30 years, but that's nothing compared to the financial devastation that voiding the season could have on a team in a promotion race, for instance. Leeds could end up doing the Leeds again. The likes of Coventry, who are currently playing in Birmingham Stadium at present, could miss out on the crucial financial boost they would need to be able to move back home. And then there's the flip side. If you don't avoid relegations, you're potentially putting clubs into perilous positions, both sporting and financially. The final games of the season could have seen these teams climb out of danger. If that was the case, we wouldn't have had the Leicester story of 2016 had they not pulled off the Great Escape of 2015. And that kind of opportunity would be denied in this current situation. It's a dilemma on so many levels, really, whichever way you look at it. Somebody has to lose out in an unfair way, whatever way you look at it. However, I did see a tweet which intrigued me earlier on from John Walters, the former Stoke and Ipswich striker, and of course boyhood Evertonian. So a shout out to him, of course, on the Toffee Blues. Now, he tweeted earlier today a suggestion which may well have just been designed to actually have a pop at some Reds, but aside from his suggestion to scrap the awarding of the titles, he did suggest an interesting idea which could solve the promotion and relegation situation. Now, that would involve teams in automatic promotion places being promoted, but no relegations from the Premier League or the EFL. The teams in the playoffs would unfortunately be disregarded, given that the season would be incomplete. Obviously, if we scrap the season, we'll be scrapping the playoffs, and we'd never get to find out the result of a one-off knockout tournament anyway. That could also prove to be the case, of course, with the FA Cup and the European competitions as well, should this worsen. The result of the idea that I'm suggesting would be a 22-team Premier League to start off next season. Not the end of the world, given that, in fact, the first 3 seasons of the Premier League era saw a 22-team Premier League. The promotions and no relegations would see the League 2 downsize from 24 to 22, with 3 automatic promotions from League 2 and only the winner of the conference moving up, with Stevenage, the current bottom side, being spared. Then, of course, you could find ourselves in a position of 22, 24, 24, 22, and the balance could easily be redressed the following season with an extra relegation place and 1 less promotion place per league. And that was the situation that they had in 1995, and it worked pretty smoothly, so that could easily be a possibility should the Premier League and EFL wish to do so. The big question is, if the season does get scrapped, what do we do next? Do we declare it void? Do we keep the positions as final? Most definitely let us know what you think, and drop us a comment to let us know your opinions and what you think the next step should be. Just before I finish, I do want to say that in spite of me waffling on a little bit for a while now, everything I've said on here pales into insignificance compared with the value of human beings, hence why I'm in this situation right now where I'm really pleased that the right action has been taken in the best interests of everyone today, wherever you stand on the football side of things. As far as Everton are concerned, we've got a manager in charge who's in his 60s. He's the best one the club's had for decades, and he's a wonderful human being to boot. So hopefully everyone at the club is doing everything in their power to wrap Carlo Ancelotti in cotton wool, and of course look after the rest of the club personnel for that matter. With that in mind, I couldn't be prouder today of our amazing football club. Very pleased that our club has been decisive and taken swift action over the illness of one of the squad members, and hopefully stop it spreading to other players and members of staff. It's certainly the kind of decisive leadership that our government and our Prime Minister would do very well to learn from. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, stay safe out there, Blues. Take the right precautions and look after each other like us Scousers always do anyway. There may be no Everton games for quite some weeks to come now, but we are most certainly not going anywhere. There's still going to be plenty of great alternative Everton content coming your way on the Toffee Blues, so make sure you get yourself subscribed and keep tuning in to see what stuff we've got for you. And like I say, let us know what you're thinking. Drop us the comments, give us a like, and of course, like I say, give us a subscribe. And as always, thank you so much, guys, for watching on the Toffee Blues.